In this segment, we're going to learn about the color palettes, and they're found, first of all, down here at the bottom of my workspace. I've got two different color palettes. One is for your brushes, which means the cutting tools, the pen drawing tools, and the other one is for threads, which means for embroidery. And the first thing you see is the colors of the palette that are available, and they'll be based upon, well, at the moment, if I hover over it, it tells me the name of the color. It tells me that it's an RGB, color type. And I'll show you how you can change, the color palette in a minute. But before I do that, I wanted to show you that I can also see down at the bottom, these are the colors that are in use in this design. So the top two rows are the palettes, the colors that are available to work with, and you can see that I could have a very large group of colors available to work with. But down here, these are the 9 colors so this design was prepared for use with drawing pens, and it's been set up with several different colors of drawing pens, and so that's the colors that are in use in the design. Over here, this design has one segment, I believe it's here, that was made as an applique, and so it has an embroidery fill as opposed to a brush fill. And so those are the colors that are available in our design, and we can see them. Just for example, if I click on that shape and I look here, it shows me that it's a thread, and that notice that the lower right hand color or square has a paint bucket on it. That says it's filled in gray, but the upper left hand is in the sort of window here at the left. That's the none. So that says this shape has an applique fill, but no outline. It's not set with an outline. So, and we'll talk about drawing shapes and fills and outlines in greater detail later, but the idea is I can see that just by clicking on something. So if I click over here, it's not an embroidery fill, it's a paint fill or an artwork fill, a brush fill, and it's this particular color. And so if I click on another shape, I can see what color it is in the color palette by just clicking on a shape to select it. Now, you can change the color palette that you're working with the tool at the top right here, Edit Palette. And when I turn that on, first of all, it shows me all the brushes that are in our design currently. See if I can move it over there. So you can see there's 10 colors of brushes, and then 1 color of embroidery in use in the design. And then you could choose. So they're both set on RGB colors at the moment, kind of default. But we could change through threads to any number of brands of embroidery thread. So whatever brand of embroidery thread that you may have, if you have Janome thread, you could choose Janome, and it'll convert this to be a Janome shade. And if I say OK, all of the shades that are available to me here are the shades and the numbers of the Janome threads that I own, including the gray that's in the design, versus this side over here where I still have the RGB numbers. So again, go back to the Edit Palette. And now for brushes, instead of getting thread palettes, I get different sets of color palettes that'll have things like RGB and CMYK, but they also have, different options that might be depending on like Sharpie markers. So whatever you're going to draw with. Anyway, that's how you can adjust the color palettes of your design. And we'll learn more about color palettes and how to use it to select designs and set your defaults and those things. But just in general, that's how you can customize your color palettes.